Aretha Louise Franklin was born in Memphis, Tennessee on March 25, 1942. She is the fourth of five children. Her father was Baptist preacher Clarence LaVaughn, or C.L. Franklin, and her mother was Barbara Siggers Franklin, a gospel singer. Her parents separated when she was 6, and when she was 10, her mother died from a heart attack. This caused her to move her family to Detroit, Michigan, for a new preaching job that her father had found at New Bethel Baptist Church. Aretha was first exposed to singing when she joined her father's congregation and began singing in the church. She's a self-taught pianist and has a 4-octave vocal range. Many people regard her as a child prodigy. At 14, she recorded some of her earliest tracks at her father's church, and they were released by a small label as the album Songs of Faith in 1956. She additionally performed with her father's revival show, and it was during her time on this tour that she got pregnant for the first time and became a mother at 14. She additionally gave birth to another child 2 years later. After taking a break from singing, she came back to it in 1960 when she traveled to New York, where she was being scouted by several labels and finally signed with Columbia Records, who released the album Aretha in 1961. In 1966, after she married her new husband and manager Ted White, they decided to move her to Atlantic Records. In 1967, she released the album I Never Loved a Man the Way I Loved You, and the first song on the album, Respect, which was a cover of an Otis Redding track, reached number 1 on both the R&B and pop charts and won Aretha her first 2 Grammy Awards. She became a prominent figure known for her soulful voice, as well as becoming a symbol of Black empowerment during the Civil Rights Movement. In 1968, Franklin was given the opportunity to perform at the funeral of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and sang a rendition of Precious Lord. Later that year, she sang the national anthem to begin the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Not only did she sing R&B music, but in the 70s she branched out to work with producers such as Curtis Mayfield and Quincy Jones, and expanded her music to include rock and pop covers. Because of her success, she won 8 consecutive Grammy Awards for Best R&B Female Vocal Performance, the last coming in 1974 for her single, Ain't Nothin' Like the Real Thing. Aretha went through a funk and struggled to release successful music after her father was shot by burglars in 1979 and remained in a coma until he died later in 1984. In 1987, she became the first female to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as well as releasing the album One Lord, One Faith, One Baptism, which won the Grammy for Best Soul Gospel Performance. In 2003, Franklin released her final studio album, So Damn Happy, and founded Aretha Records. 2 years later, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom and became the second woman to ever be inducted into the UK Music Hall of Fame. Many of her countless classic songs include You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, I Never Loved a Man the Way I Loved You, her own compositions like Think, Daydreaming, and Call Me, and covers she did such as Respect and I Say a Little Prayer. In 2014, she released Aretha Franklin Sings the Great Diva Classics, where she made covers of 10 songs previously recorded by other female artists, such as Beyoncé. In total, Franklin has won 18 Grammys, received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the NAACP Hall of Fame, and the Apollo Theater Legends Hall of Fame, as well as she performed at the inaugurations of Presidents Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama. She's one of the most influential singers of all time and will forever be remembered as the Queen of Soul.